Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to our first video of 2026. Welcome back. Oh my goodness, I have missed you so much. Bookmas in December was just such a whirlwind. It was so much fun. It was such a busy time to be in. So it's been nice taking a little bit of a break after Bookmas, but when I tell you I missed you, I am being completely sincere. I'm being completely honest and genuine with that. I have missed posting videos. I have missed interacting with you guys, and I'm so excited to see what 2026 brings for us, for our reading journey, for life, for everything. So on that note, of course, we are going to be picking our very first monthly TBR of the year. So it is January TBR time. Okay, as we're getting into our first ever TBR of 2026 though, I also wanted to show you my first book haul of 2026 because it just arrived. I did just get my book of the month for January, and I want to thank Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. I've been using Book of the Month for like 2.5 to 3 years now, I want to say, and I absolutely love them. They are a book subscription service that curates a list of like 5 to 6 different books for you to choose from every single month that span across a wide range of genres, and Book of the Month is absolutely wonderful at helping you discover new authors. They've definitely helped me expand my reading horizons over the past few years, and so I just love them so dearly. There's also some really exciting things happening with Book of the Month this year because they are turning 100. It is Book of the Month 100th birthday in 2026, so it's gonna be such an exciting year, and there's gonna be so many fun like 100th year things, starting off with a fun new box design, which I screamed when I saw this box in the mail. They've also launched new bookmark designs for the 100th year of Book of the Month, and that is only the beginning of exciting things happening this year. The next big exciting thing will be coming in February. But getting into the 2 books I got this month, this first one I'm so excited about. It's actually going along the lines of trying to discover new authors and having that as one of my 2026 reading goals. I got The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead. This was described as something like Daisy Jones, and we follow Hannah, who is the lead singer of a music group. Their band has like kind of spiraled downhill. I think their manager died or something, and then we follow Theo, who discovers them and I think like takes care of their management and tries to rein them in, and then I think we just follow the ups and downs of their highs, their lows, their successful moments. And as I was just quickly flipping through this book, I did notice that this book is partially formatted as like a regular narrative book, but then also partially formatted in different media forms. So there are some chapters formatted like interviews, and I just love that in a book when the story is told to you through a couple of different formats. So I'm really excited to get into this. It's definitely giving me Daisy Jones and the Six vibes. And then the second book I got is actually another really fun one. You guys know I had a little breakup with thrillers for like about 1.5 years, but I feel like I'm slowly warming back up to them. So I decided to pick up My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. This one sounds like such an interesting concept. Our protagonist, Eden, is an artist. She's on the brink of her big break, and then one morning she goes off on a run, thinking like everything's normal. She's just going off on her daily run. But when she returns home, she realizes her key to her house doesn't fit in the lock. Like someone's changed the locks. And then when she knocks on the door, a woman who looks very similar to her answers, and her husband is also there, and her husband insists that this random woman who looks like her is actually his wife, like his real wife. And that just sounds like so insane. Like I need to know the answers of what is going on here. I'm excited to check out Alice Feeney and see if I like her thrillers. And I also just need to show you this adorable mini tote bag that I got. It's the Bookish tote bag. On this side it says Book of the Month as well, and this is possibly the cutest tote bag I own. These are my 2 Book of the Month January picks, and as I mentioned, there will be so many exciting things happening this year for Book of the Month turning 100. So if you want to join in on the Book of the Month fun, you can use the code GOALS. This will get you your first book for $5, and you will also get a fun Book of the Month gift like this tote bag. Oh my god, it's so cute. Thank you again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. Let's get into the January TBR. I am so excited to see what books we end up getting into this year. So as usual, we are going to pick 5 prompts for 5 books, and I also need to mention this because it's so exciting, but I made myself a new TBR jar. I have been busy over the break. I have indeed been preparing things for this year. So I made a new TBR jar. This is the new one. I think she She's so cute. First of all, we have updated the jar shape. My previous TBR jar, you guys know, was just very like, it was a very regular jar, like a mason jar, but because the top of it was narrower like a normal jar is, it was kind of hard to like get my hands in there and pick prompts. So I feel like this shape is going to work very, very well for us. And I've also, yeah, updated the prompts in there. First and foremost, the prompts are bigger now, and I've also wrote them in Sharpie this time versus pen. So hopefully they'll also be just more clear and easy for you to see. And yeah, for the most part, we have pretty similar prompts in here compared to the old one, but I also just decided to add a few new prompts and also get rid of some prompts that I didn't love. Things like ugly cover, like I didn't really love that prompt. I've also gotten rid of a lot of seasonally specific ones like beach read I got rid of. I also got rid of books set in the snow, and in place of that I just put a prompt in here that says a seasonal read. So we're not going to be picking beach reads in the middle of winter. I didn't want that in my life anymore, so we got rid of it. But this is my new jar. We need to mix up the prompts. Where's my wand? I need to get my wand. I've forgotten how to do everything. Hold on one sec. All right, here we go. We also have a lid on this new TBR jar, which like is kind of fancy. We can make sure none of these prompts run away when they are unattended. We'll give these a good little mix. And let's get into it. First prompt. Okay, so we have new colors here. We have pink, yellow, turquoise or aqua, and blue. With the old jar, we always started with a pink prompt first, so I think we should stick to tradition. Why change what's not broken? You know what I mean? So let's dig in here for a pink prompt. Oh my gosh, this is actually a really fun one to start with. We have Academy setting as our first prompt. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, what do we have here? I feel like my TBR has also been quite reset in this past month. I read a lot for Bookmas. I read a lot in December. I also did a book haul in December. So we have some like fun, new, exciting things on the TBR. So as for an Academy setting, I know The Scholar and The Last Fairy Door by H.G. Parry is for sure an Academy setting. This one is a standalone historical fantasy. We're set in Camford, 1920, at a secret magical academy set in England. And our protagonist, I believe, is currently trying to find a cure for her brother, who was one of the few survivors of a deadly fairy attack on the battlefields of World War I. And I think to do so, she has to join this academy, but she doesn't really belong there because she's a commoner, and so she's very out of place there. I have heard really, really wonderful things about the standalone, and it's been on my radar for so long. This has been on my TBR for a while, so it could be a good one to start off the year. So that's definitely an option. The Scholar and The Last Fairy Door. What else is a school setting? I feel like nothing else here is jumping out to me as being like very clearly set in a school. I could be forgetting a lot of these premises. I honestly don't know if we have another academy setting currently on the TBR. So you know what? It might actually be The Scholar and The Last Fairy Door. So there we go. That is our first pick for our January TBR, our first pick for 2026 TBR in general, which is super exciting. So there we have it, book one. Let's do something else. We'll just completely blind pick moving forward. We start with the pink prompt and then the rest of them can be whatever. So we have a blue one. Oh, this is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, this one says adapted to screen. Let's see what we have here. Oh, this is adapted to screen. I mean, it literally has a Netflix logo on the cover, which I'm not a big fan of the permanent Netflix sticker on the cover of this book, but The Witcher has definitely been adapted to a show. I actually haven't watched the show. I think I watched a few episodes in season 1, but never went on from there. But this is The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This, I'm pretty sure it's a novella. I don't think it's that short though for a novella. Like, it is long enough to be a full book. It's 320 pages. I guess for a fantasy book, that's pretty short, but from what I've heard, this book is a prequel to the Witcher world. So there's a lot of setup, world building. I think we just follow Geralt as he goes on a bunch of different side quests in this book from what I know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I could be so wrong on that, but that is my impression from this book, is that we're just following Geralt as he's a witcher in this world, and we're just learning a lot about the lore and the world and the beasts. But this is a series that I'm so curious to get into because I loved The Witcher 3, the video game, and I just want to know the lore. Like, I want to know the source material, and so I'm excited to get into this series. I didn't think I would start it right in January because there are definitely some series that I want to finish before starting into a whole new world. But this has definitely been adapted to screen, so is definitely an option. Let's see if there's anything else though. These I don't believe have been adapted. Oh, we could do a Bridgerton. I have been reading through the Bridgerton series. I've read the first 2. I want to say, yeah, I've read 2. And so my next one is An Offer from a Gentleman, which is Benedict's story. So this might actually be a little bit more productive because I obviously, I'm trying to finish series before starting them. Also, one of my reading goals for 2026 was to like go through series faster and stop procrastinating finishing series after I've started them. So I feel like this one would be more productive than this one. I'm kind of a little bit more excited about The Witcher at this point, but I feel like I should be good and like continue this series. Also, I know the new season of Bridgerton, the TV show, is coming out this year, I think. Is it this year? And it actually is Benedict's story. Like, it is his season, so I feel like I should read this before the Netflix show comes out. Do I have anything else? No, I believe it is just these 2. I'm gonna be so honest with you. I want to pick The Witcher so badly right now, but I feel like it's my first TBR of the year. I should stick to my goals. Like, we've just made our New Year's resolutions. So I'm gonna do An Offer from a Gentleman, Benedict's story. Let's continue our Bridgerton adventure. I haven't loved these books. I didn't love the first 2 books, but I do have this and the 4th book still in my physical TBR, so I'm determined to at least read the first 4 and see where the series goes. So, okay, we're gonna do Benedict's story for our second book. Okay, let's do prompt 3. Ooh, we got another pink one. Okay, we have a lot of free reign with this one. So this just says paperback. I think I know what I want for this one. I need to read Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. I have been patiently waiting to start arc 2 in this Red Rising series. I finished the original trilogy in November of 2025, so it hasn't actually been that long since I've read Morningstar, but I just really feel like I want to binge this series at the beginning of this year because I'm so like captured. I'm so enraptured and obsessed with this world, which is so funny because Red Rising was just an average read for me. And then after reading Golden Sun and Morningstar, I'm just like obsessed with these books at this point. I am prepped. I am ready to dive into Iron Gold. I want to continue the series and finish up to Lightbringer because I know the 7th book, like the next book in the series, Red God, is coming out, I think this summer? I think, I'm not sure actually, but I'm pretty sure it's sometime this year. So I want to make sure I'm caught up in the series so I can read Red God with everyone else. Yeah, paperback has to be Iron Gold. It has to be. Let's go to prompt 4. I feel like we're blasting through these prompts real quick. We have a yellow one next. Ooh, okay. We have a 2-word title. I mean, Iron Gold could have fit into this prompt. Should we just shall we just pick Dark Age while we're at it and like just blast through the series in January? That would be amazing if I did that. I don't know if I will do that though. I still want a little bit of a variety in my monthly TBRs. So 2-word titles. There are so many of these literary fictions that I want to pick up this month, like Before I Forget here and The Bright Years. The Bright Years is so high on my radar right now, but it's 3 years because it has a the at the beginning of the name. Jasad Air? Oh no, that's the Jasad Air. That's also 3 words. Oh, technically Sword Catcher is 2 words. Is this the month where I dive into Cassie Clare? I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. It'll happen this year. January might be a little bit quick for me on that one. I'm not quite ready, but let's see if I have any other 2-word titles. The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes is definitely a 2-word title, which is also an option. This starts a series as well, but I feel like it's a little bit of a less intimidating series just because these books are YA. They're very short. I did read the Inheritance Games, the original trilogy, and found those books to just be really quick to read. So The Naturals could be an option for a 2-word title, but yeah, it is still the start to a new series. Oh, this is a 2-word title as well. Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild. I've actually been really intrigued at this one. It's a literary fiction. I think it's a little bit like, not maybe seductive, like a little scandalous. She is the secret love of his life. Honor seems to have everything. She adores her bright and beautiful daughter, Chloe, and her charming, handsome husband, Tom, even if he works 100 hours a week. Yet, Honor's longing for another baby threatens to eclipse all of it until a shocking event changes their world forever. Years later, Tom makes a decision that ripples through their lives in ways he could never have foreseen. As the consequences of that fateful choice unfold, two women's paths become irrevocably intertwined. But when old love clashes with the new, who will be left standing, and what happens when your secrets come back to haunt you? I feel like that's a little bit vague. It kind of goes through the general emotions or ups and downs of the story, but definitely doesn't give you too many specific plot points or plot elements. It sounds like Tom is a cheater. It sounds like he's either left and found a new love, or he's just like found a new love on the side, something like that. Well, it does say she's the secret love of his life, so I guess it was an on the side situation. But I have heard some good things about this one, and I am feeling in the mood for a literary fiction this month, so Finding Grace could be an option for my lit fic for January. Do I have any other 2-word titles? I have so many 3-word titles or longer, but Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi is also a 2-word title. I'm not convinced if I want to read this book yet. I found it in a little free library a couple months ago, so I picked it up, but I definitely want to read this Woven Kingdom by her first. Like, that one's definitely higher on my radar over this one, so I'm not sure. I may unhaul this for now and put it back out in the wild, back into the little free library that I found it from, because I don't want to like hold on to this and hoard it for a very long time and not read it. I feel like that's just unfair because of the nature of how I obtained this book, but I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if I just want to keep it, hold on to it for a little bit longer, or if I just want to like pass this off and just obtain it in a different way if I feel inclined to read this one. But I think those are all the 2-word titles. It's either Swordcatcher, The Naturals, Shatter Me, or Finding Grace for 2-word titles. And I feel like because I'm craving a lit fic in this batch of books for January, and I also don't really want to start a new series right now, I think it'll have to be Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I have no idea what to expect, but I've seen a few people reading this one. Not too many people, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good. So this will be our 4th pick for January. And then for our very last pick, what is this one? Oh, okay, this is interesting. This one says released this year. Now, we have a little bit of a dilemma with this one, because do we mean released this year, like in the past 12 months, or do we mean released this year, like literally released in 2026? That's interesting. I mean, if we're gonna go with released in 2026, I do have a bunch of arcs that haven't been released yet, but are releasing this year that I could pick up, or we could go with just like released in the past 12 months. What do you think? What do you think this means? Because if we're gonna go with arcs, we have Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandria. This one comes out March 2026, and this one actually sounds really fun. It's a standalone, I'm pretty sure, which I love. We're set on a magical ship, which I think is super fun, and this book is described as Hotel Magnifique meets Caraval in this deliciously dark YA fantasy debut. I think we have some sort of a murder mystery, maybe, like it's sort of Midnight on the Orient Express, but on a ship and with magical elements. Yes, there is a guest's murder on the Celestial, and Ro, our protagonist, is framed for the guest's murder. So this sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Oh, I have Legend of the Nine-Tailed Fox by Katrina Kwan. This comes out February 24th. We have a shape-shifting nine-tailed fox, which sounds really fun. We follow Yu, who may be the last of her kind. At night, she stalks the alleyways and canals of the city of Long Hao, luring in unsuspecting victims with the guise of a beautiful woman and then consuming them in her true form, a terrifying nine-tailed fox demon. When she's captured by a demon hunter named Sonam and banished to hell, she manages one final act of revenge, dragging him and two of his subordinates down with her. Now trapped in an abyss with unimaginable terrors, they'll need to survive the gods who preside over the courts of hell, each of whom presents a unique and deadly challenge. Enemies turned reluctant allies, human and demon, may discover that they can be so much more as they claw their way side by side out of hell. Okay, this is kind of fun that our protagonist is the demon and she's captured by a human. I feel like with a lot of these types of stories, we follow a human that's been captured by a demon, and this is a little bit of a role reversal on that, which is fun. And then it sounds like maybe we have some sort of like trials when we go into the courts of hell. This could be fun. That sounds kind of fun. I think this book comes out this year too. Love Me Tomorrow by Emiko Jean. This comes out in February of this year. This is a funny, tender, and romantic launch of a duology about a girl who starts receiving letters from her true love, who is writing to her from years in the future. This sounds like an Ashley Poston special. But from another author, obviously. Interesting that this is the start to a duology, though. I feel like usually with books like this, like romance books, usually they're standalones or interconnected standalones. So yeah, we follow Emma. She discovers a note from someone claiming to be her greatest love, but contacting her from the future. Oh, and then she has to start guessing who it is. So she's like, who is it? Is it Ezra, the absurdly popular musical genius? Theo, the literal boy next door who knows Emma better than anyone? Or Colin, the overly confident, overly handsome, overly rich kid she meets when she starts cleaning his mega mansion? This sounds so cute. This sounds like a really fun read, actually. So that's an option as well. And then there's also, oh my god, I'm so excited about this one too. There's so many arcs I'm excited about. This is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Alona Andrews. And this comes out March of this year, I'm pretty sure. This one is described as Outlander meets Game of Thrones. In this one, we follow a character who basically finds herself in one of her favorite fantasy worlds, but it's an unfinished series, which is funny that they've put Game of Thrones in the comp titles for this book because Game of Thrones is an unfinished series. But the premise of it is that, like, similar to Game of Thrones, this series has never been finished and everyone's been waiting a really, really long time for this last book. And our protagonist is a really big fan of the series. So one day she wakes up in this fantasy world and then realizes, I guess, that she can either try and like finish the story while she's in the world, or she needs to try and find a way home. So this sounds like a really fun one too. It is the start to a series, but I almost kind of feel less bad about starting new series that are unfinished or incomplete because I don't have as many books to catch up with, if that makes sense. Like if I start The Witcher, that unlocks 10 books pretty much, basically, that I have to read. Or like if I start The Naturals, I think that I have like 5 or 6 books to read. I don't know why. I don't know what kind of logic that is in my head, but for some reason I feel less intimidated at starting new incomplete series with only like 1 or 2 books out versus starting complete series that have a lot of books out. I don't know, that's just the way my brain works. But anyways, these are all the arcs I have that do come out this year in 2026. So if we're gonna interpret the prompt that way, I really want to read This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me or Midnight on the Celestial or Love Me Tomorrow. I think we're gonna go with Midnight on the Celestial for book release this year, aka 2026. So that's gonna be our 5th book. Oh, I feel like this is another really interesting TBR. Definitely a lot of variety here. So starting at the bottom, we have The Scholar and the Last Fairy Door by H.G. Parry. This was our Academy setting book. An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn, which was, what was this one? Oh, adapted to screen. Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, our paperback. Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild, our book with a 2-word title. And Midnight on the Celestial by Julia Alexandria, a book released in 2026. So there we have it. That is our first TBR of the year. Thank you to our new wonderful TBR jar. It was really fun looking through these new prompts. It just made everything feel a lot more exciting and fresh for this year. So yeah, all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what is on your January TBR. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!